So along with that, I've been getting a lot of questions lately from reps and even some of our mentors, some of our top mentors. I won't mention who, but just in regards to financing and what's going on and what's available, what's this, what's that, just all the stuff that's going on. So I've reached out to a lot of our lenders and a lot of our RSMs or our reps. Danny actually introduced me to our new rep, so I'm sure you're going to introduce yourself as well, Lew. But he's our new Sunlight rep for Powur. Lew, you see him right here, and yeah, and he was kind enough to set some time for us this evening to give us all these exciting updates that are coming in the finance world. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and hand it off to you, Lew, and give us all the exciting updates that are coming.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for the intro. Hello, guys. How many people do we have on the call, do you think, Anthony?
12, 13. I know a few will start chiming in as well as a
Perfect. I'm new to Sunlight Financial a little bit, but I'm not new to financing. Some of you may have seen or met me before when I was with Home Run Financing or way back in the Renovate America Hero program. Although I spent most of my time in business development there. So I was the director of business development. In Home Run Financing, I knew a few of you guys, and that's why if some of you recognize my face, I did do a part of your immersive training once 1 year, where you dragged me into the headquarters and put me in front of like 400 faces on the screen. So anyway, I've been with Sunlight since August. And just picked up the Powur account, mostly out of geographic reasons. I'm actually based in Cardiff, which is right down the street from Carlsbad, where you're headquartered. Okay, so with that, let me just throw up a couple slides on that. I did have a small agenda here. Wanted to save some time for questions. Make a brief introduction with some contact information. I wanted to go through the rate changes that Sunlight Financial most recently announced that will go into effect on 11/10/2022, and then get into some of the reasons why you should consider Sunlight when you're thinking of financing options. So let's jump in here. This is me. That's my information to get a hold of me. That's my phone number. It never leaves my side. That's my email. I am your best resource.
Are you sharing your screen? We're not seeing anything.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about really sharing my screen.
Got it.
Okay. So here you go, guys. That's my phone number, 980-279-8030. Call, text me anytime. I'm your primary source for training or questions, sales related. I'm the overall relationship manager for the Powur account. And should you need more direct access for deals in process, we have a relationship manager internally. His name is Ross Harrison. He is dedicated to the Powur account. He's very good. You can email him with any questions about STIPs, or if you've got some, copy of a mortgage statement or something that's needed to push a deal over the line, you can send it directly to him. He's very responsive. So we work as a team.
Our ferrets.
Say again? Someone have a question? Okay, good. And then of course you've got the partner support line, which is available 7 days a week. So with that, let's jump into the first agenda item, which is rate changes. Not my favorite topic, but it seems to be a frequent topic these days. So let's jump right into it. I think the good news for us through the rate changes is we're finding that our changes are a little less volatile than some of our competitors. For example, I'd like you to focus right over here in the left column first. We have found the need to eliminate some products like the 15-year 149 and the 20-year 199. I think that's probably consistent across all competitors. Reason being that the fee that we would have to charge on that would be so almost prohibitive to the deal. And just to give you a better understanding, any of you guys know how many times the Fed has increased the lending rate this year?
So 3, 4,
Four.
4 times.
So yeah, and it's over 3%. They got another one coming too, probably in December. So just for some context, every time they lend it a point, 100 basis points, the impact to us, how that would translate to our profitability and dealer fees, is about 4% in dealer fee. So in other words, for us to make the same profitability and margins on a deal, we would, particularly in the higher tenor, the longer term products, we would literally have to raise our rates by 4% just to break even. So that's for a 1% rate in changing. They've changed it like 4 times now. So what that means, and what a lot of competitors do along with us, is some of the lower tenor products, lower coupon rate products, it's kind of tough to keep those when you're offering a product that's 2 or 3 points below the lending rate to the capital source. So anyway, that's just kind of what's going on right now. We've also had to eliminate our 30-year loan. We were the only ones that had one. So if you weren't using that one, it's probably not a big loss to you. But here's the good news. We do still have a lot of low coupon rate products. We're going to maintain these, even after our changes next week. So the good news is like this 5-year 0.99, that's a very good product. And why do you use that product? That's for like a cash customer who's normally a cash customer, and he's thinking, well, in today's environment, I don't know, maybe I should just hold on to my cash, but it better be a good coupon rate. Well, there you go. You get a 0.99 5-year product for someone who wants to get in and out quick and doesn't want to pay a lot of interest. So you can see by 10-year product, we still have a 0.99 product, 12-year 149. But when you get out to the 20 and 25 years, the lowest rate you're going to see probably from any partner is 249 to 299. So that's not a real bad story. Those are very competitive rates. The good news, of course, is you've got the mortgage rates out there that are kind of conditioning the market, and everybody's getting used to 7.5% mortgages. Back in the old days when you're trying to present a lending product to close your deal, and you want to close it right away, and you start offering a rate that's like 3 or 4%, they're like, you know what, I might get a home equity loan. I'm thinking of going in another direction. Just give me your cash price, and then that's going to stretch your deal out 2 or 3 months while they sort through that option. And and time's not your friend when you're trying to close a deal, as we all know. The good news is that's not happening anymore. Nobody's going to a home equity loan. So when you start offering products from the 299, 399, or 499, and they know what mortgage rates are, they're thinking they're getting a good deal. The other good news is this middle column. For all of these term products right here, all these rates, we're not making any changes, even though the Fed rate hike is 0.75. We're not changing in the lower 10 years. We're just kind of sucking it up a little bit. But in the higher tenor products, 20, 25 years, we are going to make a price increase right there. So that's the real price increase that you're going to see right there. It is what it is. I think the good news is we have a pretty good sense where we are with competition, particularly Goodly. And I know we're positioned pretty well after the last round. And I'm sure that we're holding serve or improving our position relative to them, even after this next round. I know for both them and Mosaic, they have some planned increases coming next month as well. So any questions about this so far?
Can you elaborate what's the difference between the coupon and the price change? Is the coupon the interest rate and the price change is the dealer fee, how much it's increasing? Or
yeah, coupon just means interest rate. That's kind of like an internal
Okay.
term. That's Sunlight speak for interest rate coupon. Tenor just means term. So there's a 5-year, our lowest interest rate product for I should probably change that since nobody but us really uses those terms. So yeah, so that means our 5-year in the 5-year term products, 0.99 is our lowest interest rate product, so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, and then the price change column, they're going up 4%, dealer fee 3%, dealer fee 3.5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Are you guys anticipating another change after this, after the December Fed increase?
Well, our strategy is a little bit different. Let's kind of get into it here. I'm going to circle back and answer that in a minute. With the next slide, I'm going to talk about kind of how we're different from a capital strategy than our competitors, and that's where I think it's best to answer that question. Any more questions here before we jump to that slide? Nope. Okay. So let's go there. So why use sunlight? And I think one of the main reasons is stability in our capital funding strategy. As probably we're different. There are two primary models out there for raising capital to fund solar loans. One is a depositor-based strategy or a credit union strategy. One is a securitization. We're the ones that sort of we went all in on the credit union depositor strategy. Our competitors, most of our competitors, didn't. And what that means is when we go to credit unions to get money to fund a solar loan. That means, where are they getting their money? They're getting it from depositors. They're not necessarily getting it from the Fed, or they're not getting it from some other securitization model, which I'll go into in a minute. They have real deposit monies that they can lend off, and so that through these turbulent times, it tends to be a more levels stable capital source environment. So that means consistent funding sources, and our rate changes are going to be more predictable and more consistent, but also less volatile during these times. So now, to circle back to your question, that means how do we use our credit union? So we'll go out and you'll sell a solar deal. You'll submit an application. And during the process of giving you that approval, we know we've got maybe upwards of 8 or 9 capital partners that we could place that deal with. And depending upon the credit profile, depending upon the term and what that particular applicant is looking for, it's probably going to go to a couple different sources that we have, and they'll approve it. And so what that means, we'll go ahead, you'll install a job, we'll pay you an installation, and then we'll turn around and we get funded from that capital partner. So it's a very short turnaround. So we always know we have a home for the loan. We always know what we're going to pay for the loan. So when there's a rate increase, we're always in communication with our capital partners to know what their needs are going to be and how that's going to affect our funding, so we can pass that along pretty much in step with the Fed increases. So when they increase, we have to. There's probably going to be a response from us. This is dramatically different than a securitization model, and here's why it gets interesting. Looking back before this year, it didn't matter. Sure, securitization model didn't change. Why? The Fed rate never changed. It was way down here. Mortgages were way down here. So people could bundle up their paper and sell it to many buyers at a very stable rate, and they like the paper. Not so much anymore, because what's going on now is let's take a typical securitization lender. They will fund a deal. They'll probably have some type of warehouse strategy where they have a short-term money supply, either through their own funds or through a warehouse fund at a cost, and they'll fund the deal. And they'll fund a bunch of different deals. They might do that for an entire quarter, and then they'll bundle up and try to sell that portfolio. They'll securitize it. And so people will buy that. And what they buy. Now, the difference is there's such a lag time there. And so if you have some pretty radical changes in the interest rate environment, all of a sudden, a lot of those loans that they sold aren't that attractive to the people buying the securitization. And a lot of times they have to take a haircut. And so what that means is, they might offer, 25 to 30% dealer fees on a lot of their loans, and they'll fund based on that, but they might only get 60% of that when they go to sell it, because the world changed, the market changed. And so that's what's forcing some of these more aggressive price changes against some of our major competitors. I'm sure the ones the ones I'm talking about. I can remember, when I first took this job, we're 2 or 3 points behind, for example, Goodleap, and now we're 2 or 3 points ahead, and that's just kind of where it's going. And then the lower 10 procs were way ahead. And so that's kind of the difference in our capital funding strategy. We think it's going to be a more consistent process for you. So as you get used to, you're getting a cadence and a rhythm using Sunlight. We're probably going to always have competitive products. We're probably not going to knee jerk you around. You're not going to have to go here. Well, let's go here. Let's go here. It's like, no, we're going to stay right there. And even more so, more important than that strategy, what I want to impress upon you is our credit strategy, right? We are the only ones out there with offering prime lending down to a 600 FICO minimum. Only one, right? So you can get prime lending from other competitors down to 650, but when it gets below 650, they're going to offer different products, or you might have to go to a second look pirate that's going to be very expensive, right? So we're looking at a 600 FICO minimum. Why? This kind of gets back to our capital strategy. We get all these capital depositor-based credit unions, and they all we can probably find a place, that with our proprietary secret sauce of our credit process, we can find a place for that loan very quickly with high confidence. And so we don't plan on coming off the 600 FICO minimum. So let's talk about approval rates along with that. So as I looked at the last 6 months, what's your approval rate for Powur deals? It was 72%. That means out of 100 deals that the Powur Nation submitted applications for, we would approve 72%, or 72 deals out of 100. So that means there's 28 deals that we won't approve. Right? So you think, well, okay, that's about what everybody's doing. Well, let's take a quicker look at this. I love this chart. See, it says right here, decline stratification. And I don't know if you guys can see this here. Let me blow this up a little bit more so you can see the numbers. Look at this number right through here. 88, 92, right? 90, right? Throw out November because it's too small a population. I'm not going to use that 100%. But if you average these numbers, that comes out to 88%. So what is that 88%? That's the decline stratification. That means 88% over the last 5 months, not including November, 88% of the declines were for what reason? FICO score below minimum. What's the minimum? 600. So that means if you give us an applicant with a FICO over 600 or over, right? What's 88% of 28 deals that we decline? That's 25 deals. 88%, 28 deals times 88%, that's 25 deals. That means 25 out of the 28 deals we declined on a base of a sample of 100 deals, 25 of the 28 were because it was the applicant had a FICO below 600, right? And so why is that important? Well, that means what's the difference between 25 and 28? 3 deals. That means if you give us an applicant with a FICO score of 600 above, we're going to approve that deal 97% of the time. So you could say, well, I can get a better dealer fee. Their dealer fee is 2% lower, or I can go over there and yeah, but if you get a decline, you don't have to get too many more approvals to make up for that difference in dealer fee when it comes to margin and closing your deals. Because the last thing you want to do is take your homeowner through another credit review process. So if I could stress one thing about our strategy that sets us apart, it's this FICO minimum in our process for getting a fairly high approval rate. I mean, extremely high approval rate. Mid 90s or better some months when we're getting an applicant of 600 or more. That was probably a little convoluted. I hope you got the point there. Any questions on that part?
Yeah, I mean, Richard literally brought it up to me before our call today about low FICO. Unfortunately, they were like low, but so that approval, which you said is like 88% average, that's over the last 6-7 months.
No, yeah, not quite. Let me. The decline, 88% of the declines were because they were below 600.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if you say, okay, but of the deals over 600 applicants, we approved basically 97%.
That's between 600 and 650.
That's between 600 all the way to 800.
Gotcha.
In other words, you give us an applicant that has a 600 or better FICO, there's a over a 90% chance we're going to approve that loan. And in your particular case, over the last few months, that's going to be closer to 95, 96%.
Wow.
I have a question.
Sure.
Hey, does it matter the total cost of the loan with that 600 FICO?
No, it doesn't. Our standard approval between 600 and 699 is 70,000. So it doesn't matter whether they're 601 or 605, they're still going to get their 70,000 approval. Okay.
All right.
If it gets to 700, that standard approval is 100,000. If if a lot of things align, if they have a good DTI and income and payment history, there's a few other variables that if everything aligns right for that 700 plus applicant, we'll go to 150. But again, there's no guarantee on that. Where if there are 700 FICO, they're going to get 100K.
All right, awesome.
All right. Okay. Any more on our capital source or our credit process? Any more questions?
We've had a few questions this past week or two about low FICOs and things like that. So guys, feel free to ask your questions while we have Lew's attention. Oh, Rich, you had something?
No, I guess just to me, it was just understanding who can do credit scores that low. And that's good to know that they can do that and stuff. So a deal I was working with you and the one before that, I even tried him through Sunlight and he got declined. So I'm assuming he was below. He didn't even know his credit score, but he was below 600, I'm assuming, because he got denied on Sunlight. So
yeah, probably if they don't know their credit score, they gave up on it a little while ago. It's one of those, well, you can try, let's see what happens, but they already know the answer. Okay, so moving along, another thing too, and I know you guys are probably familiar with this. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. Is our Sunlight Rewards program. You guys all enrolled in that? Everybody is. Now, there's one thing I wanted to, I don't know if you guys, for those that are a little less familiar with it, let me pop this over here. Have you guys seen this video? This is a great way to kind of get quick overview of the program.
The Sunlight Rewards program is our way of thanking you for being a loyal Sunlight partner. And in this video, we're going to give you a quick overview of the program for solar partners selling deals in Orange. All right, so when you enroll, we're going to award you points every time you get a Sunlight approved deal. And that basically means a deal that is approved for notice to proceed. You're going to be able to redeem your points at any time for amazing prizes using the shopping feature in the Sunlight Rewards site. Once you enroll, every approved deal is going to be worth 5,000 points, and you can earn even more points by continuing to sell Sunlight and advancing to the next status. And here's how each status works. In silver, your first 3 deals are going to be worth 5,000 points. Once you sell 3 deals, you'll hit gold and your following deals will be worth 2x points. Once you sell 18 deals, you'll hit platinum and your following deals will be worth 5x points. And once you sell more than 30 deals, you'll hit platinum elite and all your following deals will be worth 10x points. Now, your reward status is determined in 6-month increments. So from January 1st through June 30th, and sell more than 30 deals.
Anybody have any questions? This is a pretty short video. But it's, you know, I thought about doing some slides and I looked at this video. It's like it's all in this video. I can send you the link to it. Any questions about that? I mean, this is pretty incredible. If you can get up to that platinum elite level, I mean, my goodness, that's for every deal, it's 50,000 points. So you have a good month, you do 10 Sunlight deals. I mean, that's 500,000 points. I mean, now you're into some major trips, vacations, and prizes, you know, particularly if you sustain that for a couple months. So
Top of fat commission, that's a good commission payout month too. Go spend that money on a vacation. Jeffrey asked how to enroll.
Perfect. Okay, I will show you that in a minute. Well, actually, you guys all run through Solo. You don't sign into our portal, do you?
No, yeah, we do it all through Solo.
Okay, so let me. I'm not entirely sure. I know for most of my partners, you're the only ones that are Solo dedicated. That partners I have. Normally, you just go to the Sunlight portal, and as soon as you sign in, there's a button there. It says enroll. That's it. You're done. Or it just tells you your status. You're enrolled. You're not enrolled, and you just hit the button, and it's it. It's just a 1 mouse click. So I think what I'll do is once you do this, Anthony, give me a list. Email me a list of everybody you're associated with in your group, and let me check their status. And then I'll verify who's enrolled, who's not enrolled. For the ones that aren't enrolled, I'll send them an email and tell them how to do it. Okay.
Okay.
Because we want to get everybody enrolled.
Okay, sounds good.
You'll hit platinum elite and all your following deals will be worth 10x points. Now, your reward status is determined in 6-month increments. So from January 1st through June 30th and July 1st to December 31st. And whenever you earn your reward status, that's going to be good for the rest of that 6-month period that you earn it and the following 6-month period. For example, let's say you started with Sunlight in March and you sold 18 deals by June. You're going to advance to platinum status, and all of your deals until December 31st will earn you at least 5x points. Don't worry, you're going to be able to track all this in Orange, and if you have questions, you can always contact us. But in a nutshell, the more Sunlight you sell, the more you earn, and the bigger the prizes get. Woo! Look at all those prizes. Woo! And to sweeten the deal, we're also going to be giving you an additional 30,000 point bonus when you get your 3rd approved deal and earn gold status. So that's 45,000 points by the time you hit your 3rd deal. Now let's check out some of the awesome prizes that you can choose from. As you can see, these ones are in the 60 to 80,000 point category. If you want to save up for some higher end electronics, you can do that as well. Tons of good stuff available here. Keep in mind, if you want to earn incredible prizes, all you have to do is enroll in the Sunlight Rewards program. Now, if you're a new user to Sunlight's Orange portal, you're going to be sent an email to set up your password. When you click the link, just leave that box checked on the setup screen to accept the terms and conditions of the Sunlight Rewards program and enroll. And if you've logged into Orange before and haven't enrolled in Sunlight Rewards, you'll see a button at the top of the screen that says Join Rewards and Start Earning. Go ahead and click that button, click Enroll, and you're good to go.
Yeah. So I will figure out how to do that in your world. That's how most people do it. So, but first, if I get a list of all your guys, I'll check their status, let you know what their point status is, who's enrolled, who's not enrolled, and I'll get a specific instructional email out to everybody who's not enrolled. Okay.
Yeah, we have a couple emails already in the chat. So if anyone else, if you guys can post your email in the chat so we can make sure you get enrolled in that for sure.
Okay, so that's kind of all I had because I wanted to keep it to half hour to 45 minutes. So and leave some time for Q&A. So I'm here for Q&A, and also put it out there, Anthony, if you want me to do another training or train on some specific agenda items, just let me know and I'll put something together for whatever you want me to focus on.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know a few questions off the top of my head. And I think Chris Harris kind of alluded to it when in regards to the 600 credit score, the low FICO credit score, because so Richard had texted me, and it's not, you know, I get a bunch of texts about this, about low FICO options, and I feel some of the lenders, you know, once you go below 650, like I haven't even really seen a lot of approvals because they are more strict on DTI and all these other factors, you know, in those situations. And so what's kind of some of the rules, or can you elaborate a little bit more on that 600 to 650 range as to what a customer can get, or what are some of those factors that you know, customer will cause a decline in that 600 to 650 range?
Yeah.
If you can kind of elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, I will. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you guys a cheat sheet that kind of has it all laid out.
Those are good.
Yeah, no, it's a good 2-page flyer that lays it all out. But basically, here, let me see if I can pull that up actually. But when we're talking about, you know, 600 to 650, in our world, we're really talking about 600 to 699. In other words, we don't treat a
Gotcha.
660 any different than a 620. They're going to get 70K, and
That's huge just in itself. Yeah. So I will say that some of the other lenders, even if it is a quote unquote low FICO, they do a 640 or 630 or whatever, they may only approve, you know, 25, 35K or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
which right now, honestly, with all the fees going on, that's not really going to get a customer much, you know, so that's huge if it's at 70K.
so let's see. Let me try this. No. Okay, so here we go. We're here. So I can get you a cheat sheet that has this information, this information, this information in one flyer. Okay. So, but so here we are right here. So again, we don't distinguish the difference between a 660 and a 620, right? So if you're in this range, you're going to get a 70K instant approval. We'd like the DTI to be 55% or lower. Max loan amount over 700 is going to be 100K, but there's no DTI requirement for those. That's very important. You know, and we can do 150, you know, for over 700s, but a lot of other things need to line up. Loan max can be up to 75% of household income, but their income is going to be pretty good in that case. This is a little outdated because it's talking about 3-year products, but anyway, this gives you a good idea of where we're at. You guys probably know our solar minimums and solar battery combo, right? So you can use solar loans for solar battery combinations without doing a solar plus loan, as long as the battery plus solar is under 1250 a watt. Are you guys finding that you can typically stay under that? Is that a reasonable?
that's what I was gonna ask. I mean, I guess it depends on the system size, right? Because you know, if it's a $15,000 battery adder and it's a 4 kilowatt, like, you know, okay, we're getting
Yeah.
kind of up there. But you know, we are running into quite a bit of just did one recently. It was roof, solar, and battery. And so what are your kind of guidelines on that? Is it still that 1250 if like you're incorporating a roof?
Well, so let's break that down. It's a good question. So let's say that roof and battery, number one, forget what the roof cost is for now. As long as the solar and battery portion of it are under 1250, they're good. That's considered a solar loan. Now you can add to a solar loan up to 15% not a solar add-on like roof work to support it. But if you're doing a full re-roof, right, you're probably going to need to do a solar plus loan. I mean, if half the cost for your project is a roof, you gotta move that to a solar plus loan, where the fees are a little bit higher. And the reason for that is when we do a solar loan, it's really a secured loan, because if for some reason the homeowner runs into payment issues, what do? We can put a UCC filing on the house, and what that means, it protects us, and it means that the homeowner really can't sell that house without kind of dealing with that. We can recover something because we can put a UCC filing on a solar system. We can't on a roof. So there's a little bit more risk in it. So if the majority of the product or half the project is a roof, we can't really secure that part of it. So we move that to a solar plus, still kind of the same interest rate structure, but it's going to be, we're not going to have the big 25-year loans for that. But the fee is going to be a little bit higher because there's a little more increased risk there for us. Not a lot higher, but maybe 3% higher, but it's still a good deal for the homeowner. But if you're just doing some roof work, or you need to work on that portion of the roof that's going to support the solar, or you can put a lot of the roof costs in the solar system itself. If you split out 15% of the total project as roof work, and you're under that solar battery 1250 combo, you can make it work if you follow. We don't drag apart all the cost elements and try to find a way to refuse a deal. But if you got a solar battery deal that's 1250 based on the size of the solar system, and you've got another, and let's say that totals $80,000, you can add another 15,000 for some roof work, and still keep it as a solar loan. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. Lolita, go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Hi.
Hey.
I'm just wondering, so I have a few clients who are concerned about their roofs. Obviously, they don't need to fix it straight away. If they were to go with Sunlight, are they able to get the solar loan now and then say 5 or 10 years down the track, get the roof and add it to the loan, or would it be a separate loan, or can they do that?
It would be entirely separate loan for the roof, and that would be under a home improvement loan because it'd be not attached to a new solar system. But if let's say there was down the road, they want to, they got a couple of electric vehicles or whatever, and they want to increase the size of their solar system, they could put in a loan for an expansion of the solar system with the roof, and maybe it would qualify for a solar plus loan. Otherwise, it's going to be a straight home improvement loan.
Okay, thank you.
And hopefully the rates won't be where they are 10 years from now, where they're at now. Hopefully they're gone back to where they should be.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
And so is that something maybe where it's like a separate conversation, like outside the Powur contract, or whatever, if we have to add additional funds through a solar plus or whatever, and that's where, I mean, do we just get you on the phone for that, or Sunlight directly? Because I don't know. think that's something we access through solo.
Well, if you're putting it all in solo, I mean, these maximums help you a lot, because when you're building your proposal in solo, you just have to be mindful of where that $8 is, or that $12.50 is if there's a battery included. But let's say you're doing a 10 kilowatt system, you put one battery on there, and you got $12.50, and there's some roof work involved. You've got quite a lot to work with that you can cover there under solo.
I guess the biggest speed bumps we're running into is Bay Area. I mean, most of the other territories we're dealing with very large systems, so yeah, so it is easy to $12.50 on a X amount system. There's a lot of wiggle room in there for sure. But when you're dealing with a 3 or 4 kilowatt and you got to factor in a $22,000 re-roof in the Bay Area, it's like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I think that's where we're kind of getting snags right now.
Yeah, if you're doing a lot of that, and I can talk to Jonathan about that. Are you guys moving more into doing roofs and roof combos?
We don't want to.
Okay.
We just run into it.
Okay.
Yeah, blame our marketing guys.
Because we could develop a rate sheet specifically for that solar plus roof, and give you a little more latitude. But there
I think that could help.
Nobody's expressed the need to put time and energy into getting another rate structure approved for you.
Right.
But if it became part of your core business, sure, we could rather than trying to fit it into one of these standard stock solar loan or solar plus loan. No, let's come up with a customized program for you guys, if that's a direction you want to go into. But nobody's expressed that to me. I've only been around 4 minutes, so doesn't mean they won't. But
Right. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah.
I got a question on the UCC filing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know it's not a lien, so a lien they can actually lose their home. So do most companies use the UCC filing as well as you guys?
Pretty much everybody. It's nobody, and because it's easy to do. They're not aggressive like a lien, and all it means is, okay, if somebody's going to buy the house or sell the house or do something, somebody's going to deal with that loan.
Right. So what would they do? Just transfer the loan and then that would free them up? I mean, if the new buyers, or do they have to clean that up before they sell the home?
It's got to be cleaned up, yeah, and so that just puts the onus on the current homeowners to try to work out a deal where that's included. But it's it's different than a lien. A lien is they're going to come for the house.
Right. Okay, that's kind of first I've heard of the UCC filing, so that's interesting because I get that question all of the time. And we know they don't lien the house, but I had never heard of the UCC filing.
That's
so I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's pretty much across the board.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, all the major ones. I feel like Sonova and probably Home Runs and the PACE options are a little bit harder liens.
Yeah, they're full lien, but they're supported with lien, but to the mortgage companies. But yeah, they're more aggressive, and to the extent, and usually because of those PACE loans, they're tied to the property tax system. So the only way somebody's defaulting on a PACE loan is because they're not paying their property taxes anymore, which means probably the state's coming after the house, not the PACE company, and it just gets included in all that mess. But that's pretty unusual, actually. I came from the PACE industry. There wasn't a lot of that going on. There's some crazy stuff in the early going in that industry because bad contractors were running around selling PACE loans to people that had no earnings. They were selling $100,000 home improvement loans to homeowners that live on Social Security that had really no chance of paying it. And so they forced a lot of changes in the industry, declared income, and it made the PACE loans very hard. And what that did was it kind of pushed them out of the market to a second product now. And as a second look product, it's a good product. You know, I think it's a good option because you can get kind of prime lending rates, you know, even as a second look, where, you know, most second look products are like, you know, Rent-A-Center rates. I mean, crazy stuff, but the PACE rates are pretty competitive. But they don't really compare with, you know, these type of loans like Sunlight has, or the prime solar lenders. These are just simpler, they're easier. They're not nearly as, the encumbrances aren't nearly as severe. And the PACE loans are just harder to push through. Homeowners don't want them. But it's a second look at rate.
Does any of those companies do liens? Any of them? The Home Run or a Good Leap? They don't do. Good Leap doesn't do liens either, do they?
Well, any PACE company. PACE means Property Assessed Clean Energy, which means that it goes through the property tax system. It's a whole nother level of loan. They're different. They're considered secured loans where everything that we do, everything's unsecured. The UCC filing is still considered an unsecured process. They're still considered unsecured lending, even though there's a level of security there. Where PACE loans are considered secured lending, secured by the house. It's just like a home equity loan in terms of the, you know, the security and the lien.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
One last question. I mean, just onesies, twosies we run into, right? Obviously, it's not a huge majority of what we run into, but like modular, mobile homes, kind of what's your guys' rulings around that?
Kind of the same as everybody else. We like a permanent foundation. You know, the only thing on the foundation that gets a little weird sometimes is, you know, depending on the state, like Texas, most of the houses are on, you know, they're raised, you know, to allow for some flooding. And, you know, the basic rule there is, you know, if they're on a bunch of cinder blocks and you could literally pick it up and, you know, put it someplace else, we're probably not going to prove that's not permanent foundation. But a lot of times they'll be on pedestals. And if those pedestals are in a permanent foundation, if they're permanent and the house is on those, then that'll fly in a lot of cases. But you know, we'll treat them like a house. I mean, they have to own the land. They have to. It has to be in a permanent foundation. Can't take it up and move it.
As long as you don't see a tow hitch and tires, we're good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I see Richard will probably be the last question for the night, but any restrictions on rental homes or vacation homes?
I think there is. I think they can have one other property that's non-primary residence that they can do, but we're not like if somebody's got, you know, 20 rental properties and we're gonna run into some limits there.
Okay. Cool. Anyone have any additional questions? Lots of good
Yeah,
info.
can I chime in, Ant, really
Yeah,
quick?
go ahead. Yeah.
Hey, Lou, so I'm really interested in getting that new rate sheet. I know it might take some work on your end with getting the roofs as well.
Now, you mean the rate sheet that's going to be in effect on 11/10?
No, just basically a rate sheet for us in general, whereby we can include the roof, because we're running into that a lot now.
I'm sorry, that came across a little garbled at the end. Could you ask that again?
Yeah, we want to get a rate sheet where we can actually include the roof in it.
Oh, no, that's a whole big deal. That involves a credit review. I mean, that would be you would have to demonstrate, Powur would have to demonstrate a certain amount of volume, and we would put it through our credit review process and come up with, I mean, if it was like, you know, 30-40% of your loans included a roof, I mean, yeah, let's go for it. But
I see.
it's just not worth the time and effort on our end if the volume's not there. I mean,
Got you. So what basically our only choice is really to go with a Solar Plus loan.
Solar Plus loan, yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Great info.
Okay, guys. I owe you a couple things. We're going to do the
The rewards.
rewards and instructions, and I'll get you a cheat sheet that you can
Cheat
click.
sheets, yes.
Yeah. Now
All the cheat sheets you got.
the cheat sheet might be a little outdated, but you'll
Yeah.
get most of it.
Right.
You know, and like in this case, it's talking about a 30%
Right.
30-year loan. Okay, that doesn't exist anymore. But
Yep.
by and large, the rules that you're interested in and remembering have not changed.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Perfect. Well, yeah. Well, Lew, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much for your knowledge. And yeah, we'll call it a night. Well, thank you everyone for chiming in, and you guys have a good night.